welcome to a freshly squeezed episode of Bazaar. I'm your host Sid, and joining me in the studio today is my buddy Pranav Singhvi. Hey Pranav, how are you doing, man?
Hi Siddharth, it's great to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
All right, yeah, man, great to have you on the show. And we are going to be talking about geo platforms today. And for the past 1 month, it has been on fire, literally, like raising more than $10 billion. Geo has till date cracked 7 deals and just cracked 2 deals in the past 2 days, raising money from Abu Dhabi's Mubadala Fund and from Silver Lake Partners again. So my question to you is, what are investors seeing in geo platforms? Like they're investing it as if it's a lottery, just what do you think they're seeing in geo right now?
Firstly, I think, as we are talking right now, Jio's already raised around 90,000 crores by selling 19% stake in Jio platforms. And I think it is still planning to divest somewhere around 20% stake. That is very commendable because, where like in times of such crisis of coronavirus, where businesses and corporates are actually struggling to get a grip back on their operations and to get those sales numbers, Jio has showcased its value by getting investments so seemingly from these foreign private equities. It is really commendable. Well, to answer your question regarding the reason why investors are investing so much in Jio is, I think, because of Jio's dominance into the Indian market. I think the foreign investors have definitely considered the potential that Jio has. Okay, I mean, definitely Jio has around 390 million subscribers, but the number of India's population, that is 1.3 billion people, 390 sounds a bit low or a lesser
Yeah.
number. So I think that is one of the reasons why foreign investors are investing so much in Jio.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's a crazy show right now. I when do you think this is gonna end? Like I was thinking for the past 1 month, I was thinking, okay, 5 deals. I think that's it. In the last 2 days, they had two more deals, and I think Microsoft and Saudi's Public Investment Fund is also looking to invest in Geo. So it's not stopping anytime soon, is it? Like he's gonna raise more money, I think.
Well,
Like,
yeah, it was very much clear, even from the markets report, that Geo before listing itself, it would definitely divest somewhere around 20%. And also, I think the reason of divesting these stake to the foreign players is definitely going to help Geo if it plans to list in the overseas market. So that is also there on the cards.
yeah, I mean, listing overseas could be a win-win situation for Geo and the investors, I think, because if Geo lists overseas, then the investors get their liquidity because you really can't sell your shares in a private company. So if it lists overseas, and I think mostly it will list on the New York Stock Exchange, right? I think most investors are from US. The investors get a lot of liquidity, and also Geo gets the cash, to bring its debt down to zero by 2021. That was the target. I think it's a masterstroke, I'll be honest with you, the idea of listing Geo platforms overseas. So Mukesh Ambani doing what he does, business as always. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so apart from the investments that Geo has got, one investment in particular really got my attention. The Facebook deal, the first investment that Geo cracked open, and 9.9% stake in Geo. Facebook bought 9.9% stake in Geo. So, what do you think are the synergies that could flow from the deal, and what do you think is the reason that Facebook invested in Geo? Like, what is Facebook planning for?
Yeah, well, like I said in my previous answer, foreign players and especially Facebook, in my sense, definitely given a weightage to, what could happen in the future, like what potentials could Geo unlock in the future via the deal that they have made with Geo platforms. I mean, if you consider both Reliance Geo as well as Facebook, they have a huge subscriber base in India, somewhere around
Absolutely.
400 million subscribers of Facebook and 390 of Geo. So the launching of products and services by these two would be relatively easy because of the ecosystem that they've already created in India. I mean, just
Hmm.
after announcing a deal with Facebook, Reliance Jio launched its online to offline platform, that is Jio Mart, wherein the customer can scan through the products on his cell phone that are
Yeah.
available in the nearby kiranas, select it and pick it up offline. Also, Reliance has been in talks with the lakhs of Karyanas for this project of JioMart, which I think will definitely benefit Jio in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already starting to see ads now about JioMart. Like, I thought that, this was not a big deal, but I think Reliance are already pushing towards this. And if it's, for the likes of Amazon and Walmart, I think they really need to ready their guns, because this isn't just some other player. This is Mukesh Ambani that's coming for them. So I think it's going to be a fun time for consumers in India with JioMart, launching big. And I think, JioMart could really give a run for the money to Amazon and Flipkart right now. I think it could be a great competition. And who do you think would come out top? Like, in US, we've seen this play out so many times that, companies are very scared of Amazon. Like, wherever Jeff Bezos sets his sight on, he captures that market. But I think in India, it's the other way around. Like, Mukesh Ambani, the moment he steps into a market, everyone gets really jittery. So, in your opinion, who do you think is there going to be a one single winner in this segment, or is there a place for more winners?
Well, from the perspective of a consumer, and I definitely put myself as a consumer here, I would not want any single player to rule the market, because that would definitely be a bad thing for the consumers. See, competition is really good for the consumers, because then it it asks the competitors to provide better services to the consumers. So I feel that
Yeah.
definitely there are players who are going to stay here. It cannot be a single market, because that is practically not possible, looking at the technology and looking at the systems as well as the logistics that each and every player has, considering Amazon, considering Flipkart, considering Jio. The reason that I feel that Jio would do well is because, as I mentioned earlier, the ecosystem which it has created. It has already got a huge subscriber base in telecom, and it owns the pipe to which it flows the data to the consumers. And giving that data to the consumers, I think it can also give the other products and services which are there under its web to the consumers and advertise them accordingly. So definitely, I think it would be a great what you can say opportunity for Jio here through JioMart. But on the other side, like whether the other competitors, that is Amazon and Flipkart, do they have to worry?
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, definitely they'll see what better stuff they can do. Uh, that's what I feel it is. And also I think that in terms I think we did miss this point, that in terms of valuation, the way Geo platforms is climbed to the valuation. So if you see 6 weeks back when the Facebook deal was announced, it was the Geo was being valued at $65 billion. But the recent investments, that is by Mubadala Fund of Abu Dhabi and Silver Lake's additional investment, they have valued Geo at somewhere around $73 billion. So, within a 6 week gap, the valuation is shot up by $8 billion. So, do you
Hmm.
think that the valuation at which Geo is being valued right now is valid? Like, what is your take on it?
As Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, not much has changed within 6 weeks to warrant a $8 billion increase in valuation. And as a Warren Buffett fan, I personally believe that the valuation is a bit pricey right now, because if you see the quarter four result that Reliance posted, the digital services, they have contributed somewhere around the neighborhood of 55 billion rupees. Okay. And if you see the valuation, it's almost being valued at 5 trillion rupees. So the price to equity, right, works out to 90 times, like approximately 90 times, which is it's really being valued as a tech company right now. And not much have changed since the Facebook valuation. So I believe that
Mhm.
it is pricey, no doubt about it. But seeing the future that Geo has, and the investors, they are just putting money like it's a lottery, and they really believe in the vision of Mukesh Ambani. So I think as a tech company, if you see companies in US, you'd find out that a lot of companies are trading at 90 times sales, not even price to equity. They're not even making a profit right now. So the good thing about Jio is that it's profitable. It is making money. It has positive cash flows, and the business model is good. The metrics are looking really good. So I think, looking 5 years into the future, I think that the valuation is justified. I think so. But as a retail investor and as a value investor, I certainly wouldn't put my money into Jio.
So it's like a combination of what Jio has achieved till date and what capacity it has, or what potential it has to do in the future. And both
Yeah.
of them combined is what Jio has been valued right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the future, like the future that is priced into the price is amazing, because the investors are really optimistic about Jio, and the vision that Mukesh Ambani has. I think that they think that Mukesh Ambani is gonna make a lot of money for them, so that's why they are willing to bet on his vision, even though the economy is in such a bad state, and it speaks volumes about how to make a deal, how to crack deals. Mukesh Ambani has done great stuff, and so I would like to also explore a little bit into his role, like how influential was Mukesh Ambani in bringing Jio to where it is right now, and how what was his planning into getting Jio on the ground.
Well, I think in my belief, Jio was the dream child of Mr. Mukesh Ambani. The time when Jio was launched back in 2016, he had invested $33 billion to construct a nationwide 4G broadband service network. And Mukesh Ambani's ambitions for Jio were always broader and were deeper than what meets the eye. I mean, he always wanted to take Jio beyond connectivity. It was a data, technology, and ecosystem opportunity. Connectivity through Jio Communications Limited was just a lubricant. Mukesh Ambani also had a good foresight. He knew that to able to do more with their physical assets, they have to first expose the consumers online. And so that's the reason they distributed freebies of free 4G network the time Jio was launched. Also, the people, they were not online because the data was expensive, and the way Jio started distributing freebies of free data and stuff like that, people started coming online, and that's the reason, and that's the time when uh, he started advertising his different other products. Essentially, Mukesh Ambani wanted to own the pipe, that is the data, what we call, and everything, that is the products and the services that flows through the pipe. And he spent around 4 years in building that ecosystem under Jio. Also, Mukesh Ambani, I think, has a good foresight of what the future would be. So he's been very active in terms of acquiring different startups that are there in the Indian market as well as abroad. So if you take for example, the recent investments that have been made, that is into DEN Networks, Hathway, they both are into cables. Then there is Haptic. Then there is Imbibe, which is an education software. So I think Jio, under the leadership of Mr. Mukesh Ambani, has been very much active in disrupting the consumer digital market.
I agree, man. I mean, within a span of 3 years to achieve what he has, it takes real vision, real planning, and the way that they have implemented it. I think it's just flawless. I mean, the team at Reliance, not just Mukesh Ambani, the entire management at Reliance is just have to give them a standing ovation to what they have achieved. And would it be a long shot if I called Mukesh Ambani the Jeff Bezos of India?
Well, I think if you see that guy is standing somewhere near $120 billion plus, and Mukesh Ambani is at the half of, has the net worth that is half of what he has right now. So I think there's no there's no mode of comparison that we can do right now, not only in terms of monetary but also in terms of the businesses that they are into. So it's too early to say anything of that sort right now. Also, one of the questions that I think I have is about how, because Jio is so young. Like as you said, you mentioned that it's in the business since 3 years. If you say 2016 or 4 years, but how could Jio disrupt the telecom industry so easily? As if I feel that the competitors that are already there, like Airtel and Vodafone, who are there in the business for a decade or more, they're just watching the game from the sidelines as Jio achieves milestone from one end to the another.
Yeah, I agree with you because see, to answer this question, right, I'll take you back to 2000, 2005. Okay, before Geo was even there. So back in 2005, if you see, right, there was a lot of uptick in the telecom sector in India. Like a lot of foreign companies were also coming. And I think Vodafone came into India around 2007, 2008, I think. And seeing the market opportunity that India has, 1.3 billion people, a lot of people were really motivated to capture this market. So what happened was that there was a lot of competition, and a lot of companies, they took a lot of debt to buy spectrum. And the business model was not very profitable. Like you had to take a lot of debt
Mhm.
on your books, and then the
Right.
average revenue per user is also very less. I mean, there's not a lot of money to be made. And what happened was that when Geo came, it offered free calls and very cheap data, and the competitors were not in a position to give a better deal to their customers. So if you see in India, the people are very price sensitive, and they are ready to jump ship. There's no brand loyalty of any sort. So when Geo came out with its free calls and cheap data, a lot of people just moved away from other operators, and the situation was already very bad, like given the government charges, the spectrum fees, and the amount of loans
Right.
that the operators had. So it already was a bad situation for them, and then Geo came at the perfect time. Again, the vision of Mukesh Ambani to launch Geo at the perfect time. So a lot of players just went out of business, and the ones that were left standing, it put a lot of pressure on them. So just to give an example, Vodafone has lost around 7% of its market share to Geo in the past 2 years. That is just
Okay.
staggering if you see the number, right? And
Yeah.
Geo is consistently growing its market share. By 2021, some analysts believe that it will have a 42% market share of the entire telecom industry. So I think what went wrong for Vodafone and Airtel was that their business model was already very stretched out. Like the balance sheets were not in a good position, and Mukesh Ambani just made good use of that opportunity and disrupted it. Like the telecom industry was waiting for someone to take that opportunity and disrupt the market. So yeah, I mean that's what Mukesh Ambani does. He just takes the opportunity,
Correct.
makes the most out of it.
Definitely. And just to end this, I have this one, I think, which is the most important question that I had, that foreign players and investors walking into Reliance, and the way they are seeing Geo's potential, I think, according to them, it's going to be tremendous. So, like, if I had to ask you a very individual question, that let's say a retail investor like you and me, who's doing a SIP into mutual funds of 5,000 to, let's say, 10,000 rupees a month, looking at the long term prospects of Reliance Geo, do you think that instead of, I mean, one way could be looking at it as if I parked my SIPs into Reliance Industries, which owns, which is the majority, I mean, the holding company of Geo Platforms, would it be a better deal for me?
Yeah, I mean it's a tricky question, to be honest with you, because see, the investment gurus that we have, right? They all advocate for diversification, but if you see Reliance, it's already a very diversified company. So if you have 10 or 15,000 excess cash every month that you are looking to invest into, I would say don't put your entire 15,000 into Reliance, but bifurcate, at least put 5,000 into Reliance. Because the way that the investors are pouring money into Reliance, I think it would not be it is very likely that Geo and Reliance together are going to make a lot of money for investors, and it is one of the most wealth creating opportunities that you have right now. So definitely, I mean, if you have excess money lying around, I would suggest that put certain percentage of it in SIPs, and certainly, yeah, increase your position in Reliance. And like I'm already a happy shareholder. I'm definitely gonna increase my portfolio size in Reliance. So yeah.
So not the entire not the entire money should be allocated to Jio, but to Reliance, but a certain percentage should be.
Definitely.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, that's it for today's show. Thank you, Pranav, so much for just helping me out with stuff, and it was really fun, brainstorming ideas with you, and I hope to get you back on the show soon.
Definitely, Siddharth. It was a really value-adding session that I had today. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. So this does it for today's edition of Bazaar. People on the show might have certain recommendations to buy or sell securities, but don't just follow what we say. Do your own research and dive deep into the financials before you take any decision. So that's it for today, guys, and hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any recommendations, any topic suggestions, we would love to have your thoughts. Our email address is thebazaarpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think of the show. All right, guys. See ya.